Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers news, Brandon Aiyuk drama, Troy Fautanu, Russell Wilson, and more. It's been an eventful week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As the front office deals with a plethora of trade rumors involving 49ers star receiver, Brandon Aiyuk, players took the practice field for the first time this week. Conflicting reports have dominated the news cycle regarding Aiyuk and where he will land. This is a topic that could take weeks to resolve. As the latest trade rumor updates flood social media, we gain insight as to where players stood during Pittsburgh's 11th training camp practice. Here's the latest Steelers news. As reports of a Brandon Aiyuk trade blew up on August 5, prominent NFL insiders remained silent regarding the situation. On August 6, ESPN's Adam Schefter broke his silence and offered his thoughts on where things currently stand between San Francisco and Pittsburgh. Schefter joined the Pat McAfee show, where he explained he does not expect Pittsburgh to be a landing spot at all for Aiyuk. The prominent insider believes the Steelers won't meet the lofty asking price set by the 49ers to execute a trade for Aiyuk. Schefter did admit, however, that this is a complicated situation, but that Aiyuk has an unofficial trade clause, meaning he can tell a team trading for him that he won't commit to signing a long-term deal if traded. This leaves the door cracked open for Pittsburgh if San Francisco is willing to come down on the asking price. Now that Wilson is finally a full go from the calf injury he dealt with early in camp, fans were interested to see how the workload would be divided when Wilson returned to the practice field for team sessions. During Pittsburgh's 11th training camp practice on August 6, Wilson and Fields split first-team quarterback reps right down the middle, as they frequently rotated in for each other. This is a sign that the pole position Mike Tomlin and the Steelers so frequently referred to when talking about Wilson during the offseason isn't as big as we were led to believe. Fields has strung together several excellent practices before Wilson's return to practice. Wilson is still expected to be the starting quarterback when the season starts, but the competition is heating up. Many fans are pulling for Fields, who is 10 years younger, to win the job from the veteran QB. One of the biggest notes from Steelers training camp practice early this week is Troy Fautanu finally earned significant work as the first-team right tackle in team sessions. Fautanu, a first-round pick in 2024, was expected to earn the starting right tackle job sooner rather than later. In a corresponding move, the Steelers split starting left tackle reps between 2023 first-round pick Broderick Jones and veteran Dan Moore Jr. Eventually, Jones is expected to be the starting left tackle in Pittsburgh with Fautanu manning the left tackle position. Getting the first-round picks on the field at the same time isn't guaranteed to happen by the start of the season, but this is an encouraging sign that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are open to the idea. Reports surfaced that Kenny Pickett is losing opportunities to be the Eagles' backup quarterback in 2024. As Tanner McKee took more second-team reps, Pickett's chances of landing the number 2 quarterback job in Philadelphia decreased. According to Zach Berman, who covers the Eagles, offensive coordinator Kellen Moore insists McKee's work with the second-team offense is independent of Pickett's play. Pickett, a first-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers and the first quarterback selected in the 2022 NFL Draft, is looking to maintain relevancy and repair his tarnished reputation early in his NFL career. Belief growing Steelers will start Justin Fields. The talk of training camp up to this point has been the 2 quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. While it was expected that the conversation would revolve around the 2 quarterbacks, the minor injury to Wilson for the beginning of camp increased conversation around the two. With Wilson sidelined, Fields had an opportunity to prove why he deserved the starting role. He performed well throughout the beginning of camp, taking most of the first-team reps and not making any major mistakes. When Wilson returned from his minor injury, he began taking more of the first-team reps again. Head coach Mike Tomlin asserted that Wilson still had the pole position designation given to him early in the offseason. Now, both quarterbacks are taking first-team reps, although Wilson remains the starter. Due to the nature of how the quarterbacks are splitting time in camp, reporters and fans alike believe that Fields still has a chance to be the starter come week 1 of the regular season. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated's Monday Morning Quarterback wrote about Fields among a list of position battles, including those of all of the first-year quarterbacks. Breer believes that Fields still has a good chance at becoming the starter in Pittsburgh. "I wouldn't count Justin Fields out of becoming the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers quite yet. Fields has played well, and new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith has a really long history of coaching effectively around the blind spots of physically gifted quarterbacks. So the longer Russell Wilson's injury woes linger, the wider the door opens for Fields, who's a strong program personality fit for the Steelers, to eventually become the guy." With Wilson coming into camp injured, Breer highlights the fact that his injury history could be a cause of concern. On the other hand, with Smith having a history of coaching physically gifted quarterbacks, Fields could be at an advantage. At this point, it seems like Tomlin is set in having Wilson be the quarterback come week 1 of the regular season. Anything can change, however, and Fields has shown he can be a viable option through the beginning of camp. Pittsburgh Steelers' chances of winning Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes get big boost. As first reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter, the New England Patriots have withdrawn from the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes. Of the reported teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns remain. However, it seems that Aiyuk is dead set on going to Pittsburgh, while the 49ers need the right compensation to move him. The Steelers and 49ers have gone back and forth about the trade for months, but only now are the 49ers receptive to these offers. Pittsburgh appears to be the frontrunner in the sweepstakes, as Aiyuk has the leverage to veto a trade. Aiyuk wants to be one of the top receivers in the NFL, which means over $30 million annually. While the Patriots were seemingly willing to pay him and gave the 49ers a package they liked, Aiyuk's refusal to sign a long-term contract with the Patriots held it up. That is why Aiyuk is not in Cleveland or New England. With all that in mind, if the 49ers are going to move Aiyuk, the Steelers seem like the natural landing spot. He could pair with George Pickens to create a dynamic wide receiver duo on the outside and put a bow on what appears to be a completely reshaped offense for Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.